On Monday morning, in the Supreme Court down here in George Street, we have a trial, very important trial coming up. Brother Lex Wotton is going to be tried for matters relating to a so-called community uprising, community riot, up there on Palm in November 2004. This is when the community first found out exactly why an Aboriginal man by the name of Mulrunji Doomadgee died on the floor of the Palm Island Watch House. And he had died from massive internal injuries that could only have been caused by a certain police officer. The community rose up because they were that traumatised, that impacted by this terrible death, by this terrible happening of an innocent Aboriginal man. And out of that there were 19 Aboriginal people, men and women, who were charged with certain offences. Brother Lex is the final Aboriginal person to be being processed. This intervention has impacted on Aboriginal families and communities right throughout the Northern Territory. It's been carried into the top end of Western Australia. It's been carried into the top end of South Australia. The Bligh government, here we are at Parliament House, and the Bligh government has carried the intervention into 4 designated communities up in the Cape. And we've had a senior federal minister, Peter Garrett, some 3 weeks ago, threatened to take the intervention into La Perouse. So clearly this is on the agenda for the Rudd government. But since Rudd's been in, and Rudd's now been in for 11 months, there's been very little change.
We've seen over a period of 20 years how the RDA has been put aside every time racism in this country raises its ugly head. And it certainly raised its head last year when the previous government, Howard the Coward, and his cronies invaded the territory for obviously all the wrong reasons, for the want of land, simply for the want of land, and more so to control resources, and simply by getting rid of the permit system. The permit system's got to be restored, the RDA's got to be restored, and the intervention's got to stop.
The death of our brother on Palm Island, as we all know, we don't have to go right through it, has been very unique out of all of these deaths, because a police officer was charged with the manslaughter of this brother, of our deadly brother, where this cop says, yes, I must have caused the blow that caused the death of Mulrunji in custody. This Labor government says the past government did it. They've actually intervened more than the previous government on wanting to put it right throughout Queensland and New South Wales. In the last 4 months since the alcohol management plan is in Mornington Island and Palm Island, $83,000 in fines have been given to poor people. And if they don't pay these fines for having alcohol, if they don't pay these fines in 3 months, they all go to jail. They're just rebuilding a big jail up in Townsville there. They just had a big ball there, inviting everybody to have a ball up there. Can you believe this is happening in this country, folks? We don't want Lex even getting a fine. We want the freedom of Lex Wotton through this court on Monday. And we want everybody in solidarity here, because our brother is not going to be used as a scapegoat for this redneck judicial system and this redneck government who continues with the intervention. How sick is this society to continually discriminate against the original owners of this country, where there was 1 million of us here 220 years ago. We're only 2% of the population. We didn't go to Mars. There was genocidal massacres in this country, folks. And that's got to be inclusive from kindergarten to university to the workforce in culturally inclusive curriculum. And we need them to know that we want Lex Wotton freed on Monday, and we want you all there for a peaceful demonstration at 9 o'clock outside the courts.
The police have been historically used as an army of occupation, and this is why we have such poor relations with police and Aboriginal people, and because police is still in that ideology of that invasion process, and consequently Aboriginal people are bashed constantly by police.
It was a year ago that they started this intervention, but we can't forget what led before it. That this was inspired by the racist hatred of the Howard government towards Aboriginal people. There's been a collective attack on every kind of collective representation of Indigenous people. ATSIC have been dismantled. These people have demonised customary law. They've pulled down the CDP schemes. And then they use this, the Little Children are Sacred report. They use it as an excuse for the most racist intervention into Aboriginal people's lives that this country has seen maybe for a century or more. This Rudd government is visionless. That it was trapped in the policies of the Howard government, and it has neither the courage nor the ideas to know what to do.
This country has to recognise its own lies. The man that faces court on Monday is facing one of the biggest lies this country is trying to perpetuate on our people once again. That Lex is the criminal from the incident at Palm Island? No! Lex is the hero. Lex is the man that stood up and defended his people to all the white men that came there and said, you don't own this. When they said, no, we didn't kill Mulrunji, Lex said, no. Something happened in that police station, something that you people are lying about to this day. Tell the truth, and we might be able to live together equally. Until that happens, we have an unequal balance. We have lies, we have murder, we have deceit, we have robbery, we have rape, we have theft of the landlords. The tenants are going to start paying their rent.
Stop the intervention! Human rights for all! 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 Stop the schools and hospitals, not detention! Stop the racist intervention! Schools and hospitals, not detention! Stop the racist intervention!
All these people walk around here, they've got the privilege to walk around here and do whatever they like to. They got money. They can make a decision on how they want to be and where they want to go and where they want to put their children, what school, whatever they want. They got the right to do that. But they take away our right and say, you're just a stupid black man, you can't live and you can't do nothing. But our people have been here for thousands of years in the first place with their own laws and customs and culture. We've been living the right way before they came. They're the ones that come and poison our people. They're that come here with the racism and discrimination and hatred and violence. They're the people that perpetrated the thing on us. We never asked for the thing. Then they come along and treat us like we're the aliens and we're the people that's doing the wrong thing. We're exiled in our own country. We speak up for our rights and people say, oh, you're just a black man, shut up and sit down. We can get racially abused in this country and they can walk away and get away with the thing. When there's no Racial Discrimination Act to protect us from racists and rednecks and KKK members and people like that out there who can discriminate against us and perpetrate violence on us because of who we are, and they do nothing about the thing, and the judicial system and the court system don't do nothing, then we've got problems. Because it's not just doing it to us, it's doing it to every other black fella out there. Any other person in this country who walks around a black skin, you're going to be discriminated against. You know that for a fact. Charity is never a substitute for justice. We never asked for them to go out there and do that to our people. We never asked to be put under this act here, Aboriginal Act. We never asked for this. We never asked for someone to come in our yard and tell us what to do. We don't want your charity. We want justice. We want you people to stand up here with us.